The financial services sector has transitioned from paper-based processes to digital innovation. Insurance and retirement providers now leverage machine learning and optical character recognition to enhance operational efficiency. Building on these technologies, enterprise AI empowers firms to meet contemporary demands while maintaining robust governance. This digital evolution not only boosts efficiency but also significantly enhances client experiences, setting the stage for future advancements. As a result, the industry is better equipped to adapt to emerging trends and challenges, ensuring sustained growth and improved service delivery.
So I think a great example of this is the scanning of documents. So we've been doing this for decades. So when you think about forms coming in and the way it used to be handled, decades ago where people were walking around with paper, being able to scan those documents and create a digital footprint of that where it could then be routed electronically to areas within the business for handling is probably the greatest experience. And then from there, we evolved into OCR and ICR.
In many ways, it's the combination of AI or intelligent tools and the way we use them as a package in order to streamline certain processes or certain activities. So, for example, let's look at private or alternative investment. Insurers, especially in the life space, we're seeing 15, 20, 25% or more of their investment portfolio going into partnership investments or joint venture vehicles or funds that are specifically around alternatives, right? Those particular investments require a lot of processing of non-standardized documents and data, right?
I think the biggest one is content. So what differentiates our solution, even comparing us to pure financial wellness solutions out on the market, what differentiates us is our breadth of content. We have over 3,000 assets in our library. We have an in-house editorial graphics development teams focused on content creation. We have over 5 different styles of videos, tutorials, hundreds of calculators. So it makes it meaningful for the individual that they can look for their specific circumstances and find content that's going to address that.
So we have quarterly meetings with our clients, right? Just to kind of touch base. We are a service organization. We're processing transactions for our clients. So one of the things that we like to do is really check in with them, give them progress updates. But one of the big questions they ask is, how are you using all of these tools that you have at your disposal to increase our ease of doing business?
And at SS&C, for example, we have a digital Dropbox where those notices, our services team can go out electronically. We can scrape the general partner portals. We can bring in those documents in the various shapes and sizes that they are. We can use optical character recognition to scan the documents, right, and extract the 5 or 6 data elements that are needed in order to process the event or the activity.
Yeah, so it's all about driving engagement. So we've had, as part of our Financial Wellness Center, a personalization engine in play for many years. And that uses behavior of the user to determine what's engaging them from a topic as well as a content type perspective. So if someone's engaging more with calculators, we're going to show them more calculators. So that certainly helps to drive engagement, which is ultimately what we're looking for. Over the last few years, gamification has been an area that we've focused on as well. And we've absolutely seen that shift behavior and drive that engagement even higher.
Modern financial operations are increasingly complex, dealing with diverse documents and extensive portfolios. Enterprise AI, leveraging intelligent automation and machine learning, empowers providers to efficiently process vast amounts of data. By automating repetitive tasks, firms can significantly reduce errors and allocate resources to more strategic initiatives. This transformation not only enhances accuracy, but also frees up valuable time for innovation and growth. Consequently, operational challenges are converted into scalable opportunities, driving both efficiency and competitive advantage in the financial sector.
Yeah, so one of the big things that we're working on with AI right now is really around the whole plan onboarding process. So how this works is we have a number of clients. They all have different paperwork. So when we first looked at this process, we thought that CDA would have been a great tool for us to use to be able to take the information that's coming in through these forms. But because the forms are structured and unstructured, AI is the perfect solution for this.
At a certain point, it's a combination of how big you are as a firm, what your internal staff and resources are, and how many of these types of investments, how many line items you have in your portfolio, right? If you have 5 partnership investments and you're dealing with 6 or 7 notices a quarter, you probably have a human in your accounting or your ops department that can go out, pull the notices, keep punching them in, and off you go, and report it. It's a couple hours of their time, every month or every quarter.
We have a few of those clients who are using our wellness center with our calls to action. And the calls to action for those clients are very profile driven. So we can look at profile fields about the individual and then show a call to action that's specific to you. So you're seeing an action that is very appropriate for something that would improve your outcome if you were to do it. So we display those throughout the wellness center. And when an individual clicks that, we can take them right into the transaction page where they can improve on that. And so for us, that has been one way we're helping our retirement clients show that we're personalizing this experience.
This process is very early for us for the artificial intelligence component of it, but I can tell you from the testing and what we've done to this point, it's all of those things. It's an increase in the quality. It is an increase in the efficiency. So when you think the example I mentioned earlier about how long it takes a human to manually establish these plans on the record-keeping system, through artificial intelligence and extracting that data and then using our digital workers to be able to establish these plans, you're talking a third of the time to be able to get this information extracted.
For the most part, LLMs are not really required for this because it is it's structured data, even if it comes in various unstructured formats, right? The larger language models are really applicable when you're trying to do things like sentiment analysis to profile risk and read through legal terms to summarize and get key I'd say feedback or synopses on different levels of information that you would see with more of a like a ChatGPT type function or generative AI.
So we go in virtually every month and we're looking at our analytics across clients, and then we do a deep dive at least a couple times a year per client. And we get some great insights on that. Every client's a little different. We have some of our clients their demographics skew a little older, some of them skew younger. So again, that's why it's so important that from a financial wellness perspective, we're addressing all life stages.
Enterprise AI is revolutionizing engagement in insurance and retirement services. By harnessing data-driven personalization, providers can offer tailored experiences that build trust and encourage active participation. This includes everything from customized financial wellness tools to proactive insights, allowing for scalable, individualized service. Enterprise AI is not just meeting, but exceeding client expectations, fundamentally redefining the service landscape. It strengthens client relationships by delivering highly relevant and timely information, making interactions more meaningful and effective. As a result, Enterprise AI is setting new standards for customer satisfaction and loyalty in the industry.
From SS&C's perspective, the biggest area that we provide services is around support of an insurance or reinsurance company's investment lifecycle, right? So as they put capital to work with various asset managers, we're responsible for really gathering those trades, processing them, accounting for and valuing the positions and the instruments or assets that they hold, and then generating financial and regulatory reporting to the jurisdictions that they're responsible for reporting.
So we have clients outside of the retirement space who leverage our financial wellness solution and have found it to be effective there. And a lot of times, you've probably come across some of this research, but employees have a lot of financial stress and it impacts their workplace. It impacts how productive they are. It can impact their overall health. And so our solution it addresses all of those items in addition to supporting the retirement use case.
So right now we're focused more on our clients, right, in the work that we do for them. But by sharing the stories and the way that we're able to automate and the way that we're able to handle these transactions with these tools available to us, that opens up other opportunities to kind of share those experiences with them. So while they may not necessarily handle the transactions that we handle for them, by sharing our experiences, that provides them the opportunity to look at other opportunities within their own shops to say, geez, is there an opportunity for us to leverage some of these tools and some of the things that we're doing?
And I would also say the machine learning comes into play with things like matching data, when we think about multi-party reconciliation and coming up with tolerances and knowing which counterparties are better or more accurate or more timely at certain data sets than others, right? So the system can say, well, we know counterparty X is really good at these, but on derivatives, they tend to trip up in these areas. So call it out to the human to have those extra eyeballs on that, right? As opposed to worrying about it every time.
How often do you log into your retirement account to check your balances? A lot of people, at best, they'll do it quarterly. Some people really early in their career may do that much less frequently. So we're trying to encourage behavior change to get them to come in and look at their retirement plans or look at their employer as a resource to help them address their financial challenges. So in many ways, we're trying to change behavior. So it's not one thing that really necessarily does that. There's a lot of research out that says it can take 5 to 7 times to hear something before it really sticks. And we believe that to be true with education and wellness content as well. It's going to take multiple times for somebody to engage with wellness.
There's so many different opportunities that we have to leverage the tools that we have available to us. And what artificial intelligence does for us, it's another tool, but it also offers more flexibility. And that flexibility is a game changer in the marketplace, right? One of the things that we notice is that our clients evolve. We need to evolve with our clients. There's changes in regulations. There's changes in offerings that our clients want. And we need to be able to be ready to adapt to those changes when they occur. And having all of these automated tools, including artificial intelligence, is one of the ways that help us be able to pivot and be ready to accept those challenges when they occur.
Governance and compliance are paramount as enterprise AI transforms financial services. With evolving regulations, transparency and accountability are essential. Enterprise AI must adhere to stringent standards, ensuring data security and auditability. Implementing robust governance frameworks allows organizations to confidently adopt innovative technologies while meeting regulatory requirements. This approach not only maintains trust and integrity, but also fosters a culture of responsibility and ethical practices. By aligning enterprise AI initiatives with compliance requirements, financial institutions can navigate the complexities of the regulatory landscape, ensuring sustainable growth and customer confidence.
I don't think it's making it harder to comply. I think it's just understanding what the technology is designed to do, right? So the work that comes in hasn't changed. It's just the way that we're handling it, right? So whether it's a human or whether it's an automated process, the way that you handle that and the things that you allow the technology to do should not be any different than what you would allow a human to do, right? We certainly don't want the wild, wild west out there.
Clients, when we show them a demo of what we're building, they're excited about it and they love where we're heading, but they ask questions. What's your governance? How do we ensure this is secure? And what we tell them, and this is so core to what we're building, is it all sits on our SS&C cloud. It's using an engine that has governance around it. The entire solution has guardrails, so that if you go in as a participant and ask a question, can you help me with budgeting? It's not going out and doing a web search. It's searching only the content set of ours that the client has approved.
We don't want it to be a black box, and we don't want our client to think it's a black box, because if you can't explain it or you don't know what it's doing, if something comes out wrong, you have a hard time justifying it and also figuring out how to fix it. So to the extent that we can provide transparency to clients, whether it's through operational monitors, say, hey, here's the data that came in, here's the data that we translated it to, here's the data we spit out, and here's what didn't match, right? You're demystifying it a little bit.
I've been saying it all along, but I feel like it bears repeating. It's really the governance around these tools, right? That is the one thing that we hear from our clients the minute we start talking about these things, are what types of governance do you have around your process? And I think just making sure that folks understand that, and again, as with SS&C, this is something we've been doing for a very long time. We have enterprise-wide governance.
If you go in as a participant and ask a question, can you help me with budgeting? It's not going out and doing a web search. It's searching only the content set of ours that the client has approved. So there might be 140 content items that will be searched as part of that. So it's a secure search environment. They're never going to just get something that's not referenced as part of those materials.
As a service team and as a technology provider, what data we need to do our jobs, right? In this case, to process investments, to account for them, to report on them. If the data is not there, we should see that in the model. If the data is wrong, then we have, or grossly different right? Then we have exceptions and variance monitoring that says, hey, wait a minute, yesterday it was X and today it's Y. And that's a way too big of a swing for what would be normally acceptable within an allowable tolerance.
The future of enterprise AI in insurance is poised to revolutionize the industry by anticipating needs and driving innovation. Enterprise AI will redefine operations and competitiveness through rapid onboarding and predictive analytics. By integrating advanced tools like large language models, insurers can significantly enhance decision-making and client outcomes. Strategic adoption and collaboration will be crucial to unlocking enterprise AI's full potential as it continues to evolve. Shaping the insurance sector using the advances in AI will not be purely a technology move, but a defined strategy by organizations seeking to leverage these technologies to meet emerging challenges and opportunities.
There's a lot of focus in the insurance industry in particular around modeling and predicting and explaining risk, liquidity, risk and liquidity to regulators. As investment portfolios have gotten more complex and as potential insurance liabilities have gotten greater, right, in certain areas, whether it's a catastrophe event, whether it's, something on the life or health curve, like a COVID incident, or something like that.
So we're in development now with a large language model, easy for me to say, where we're using the Tarvos SS&C engine. We're calling our experience Sage. And what Sage will do is it will allow an individual to come into wellness, and it's going to give them a new way to start their journey. So right away, they could come in and just like you can on any LLM, you could start typing, ask a question, and Sage will respond.
From an artificial intelligence standpoint, it's really around this whole plan onboarding process. As I said before, it takes a long time to get a plan from start to finish on a record-keeping platform. And by being able to use tools, whether it's artificial intelligence, large language models, to be able to take that paperwork in, extract the data that we need, and establish these plans on a record-keeping system, that allows us to increase our quality. It creates greater efficiency around the process.
The AI and intelligent automation tools are very relevant. I think it's a matter of figuring out very use cases to deploy them where there are real returns on investment, right? And that is done in collaboration by SS&C with our insurance and reinsurance partners as we look at their end-to-end operations, and we say, here's where your business is today. What are the bottlenecks or challenges? Here's where you're planning to grow.
So what we're building now with Sage and the LLM, it's day one. There's a lot more we see in the future for this. So day one, we're searching the wellness content, but you can imagine for our record-keeping clients, we could search all of the plan documents. We could search the participant's full profile, so that if a participant came in and into their record keeping experience and was looking for information on how to take a loan, Sage could look to the plan provisions and say, you're currently eligible, or you're not eligible, or you're eligible and you could take this. And then we can wrap it with education to say, although you can take a loan, keep in mind, it's not always going to be, provide that guidance. It's not going to always be the best way for you to get this extra cash you're looking for, and give them some other ideas on what they can do.
By being able to use tools, whether it's artificial intelligence, large language models, to be able to take that paperwork in, extract the data that we need, and establish these plans on a record-keeping system, that allows us to increase our quality. It creates greater efficiency around the process. It's speed to market, which is huge, right? People don't want to be waiting months to get their plans established on the record-keeping system.
Adopting enterprise AI necessitates aligning with business objectives and thoroughly assessing capabilities. Firms need to pinpoint bottlenecks and prioritize scalable solutions to address those challenges. Whether through in-house initiatives or strategic partnerships, focusing on areas with the greatest need ensures compliance and transparency. Taking measured steps allows providers to remain competitive and deliver substantial value. By systematically integrating enterprise AI, organizations can navigate complexities, meet regulatory requirements, and ultimately achieve sustainable growth.
So I think some of the things that you would need to just be aware of is, what are the services that you currently offer, right? What is it that you're looking to offer? And then it's really about us sharing with these clients, here's all the different things that we have, right? Whether it's a self-service solution, whether you want to use paper. And I think meeting clients and understanding what their needs are
Yeah. Let's look at your portfolio. Where are you today? What are the challenges? Where are you headed, or where you think you're going to head? And let's figure out how we can together it most efficiently, pave the way for success and scalability and efficiency, so that you could just focus on doing what you do best, right? Which is writing policies and being good stewards over the invested premiums in your portfolio as efficiently as you can.
We really look to elevate with our solutions for our record-keeping clients as well as prospects is they should be considering what's available beyond the record-keeping platform. And so financial wellness is one of those add-ons, but we have hundreds of add-ons that can really elevate the experience for, not just participants, but for advisors, for the sponsors, for TPAs.
Trusting us with this information, right? And these are our products and services, and we know them better than anybody else. So by using them internally and by sharing those experiences, there's probably one of two outcomes, right? So they may either want to use it themselves, maybe for parts of their business that they don't directly outsource to us, or maybe there's an opportunity where because of the way that we have the rigor and the control set up around these processes.
I think they risk a couple of things. They risk one, being left behind their competitors, right? In the sense that they may have products they want to offer in the marketplace, or they may have investments that they want to make that can generate yield and follow the same sort of, maturity line as their liabilities. And they're going to be hogtied or handcuffed and unable to do it because their operating model isn't set up for success.
So I think it's really going to allow us going forward to connect the dots more, whether that's within a record-keeping platform or it's through an employee benefit or any other integration point. I think that's really where I see us adding a lot of value down the line, expanding what we can search and making that just a seamless experience for the individual.
The future of enterprise AI in insurance and retirement services is not just about adopting new technologies, but about integrating them thoughtfully and strategically. Governance remains a cornerstone, ensuring that processes are secure, compliant, and transparent. By leveraging advanced tools like large language models, decision-making can be enhanced, improving outcomes and driving innovation. Enterprise-wide governance ensures that every interaction, from budgeting queries to complex data monitoring, is handled within a secure and controlled environment. This guarantees data integrity and allows issues to be addressed proactively. As enterprise AI capabilities continue to develop and refine, the focus must be on creating efficient, accurate, and valuable solutions to reduce onboarding times, improve accuracy, and enhance the overall experience, making operations more competitive in a rapidly evolving market. Ultimately, the key to unlocking AI's potential lies in strategic adoption and collaboration. By aligning AI initiatives with business goals and addressing bottlenecks, scalable solutions can be delivered that provide real returns on investment. This holistic approach supports participants in their financial journeys and strengthens market positions. Together, we can pave the way for a future where enterprise AI drives success, scalability, and efficiency, allowing you to focus on delivering exceptional service.